Imagine this. The clock reads 5:30 a.m. on November 20, 2024 in Mbombela, South Africa. The air is cool, heavy with the quiet anticipation of a new day. Birds are just beginning their morning chorus.
Like wait, before the dawn, yeah.
But then, that fragile peace is absolutely shattered. The sharp, sudden crack of multiple gunshots rips through the stillness of a gym parking lot.
Horrific.
A dedicated doctor, a woman who routinely started her day with an early workout, collapses next to her car.
Just like that.
A life, vibrant and full of promise, extinguished in a calculated, horrific act of violence. The world she serves so passionately loses one of its brightest lights in an instant. The content presented in this video is for informational and entertainment purposes only. While we strive for accuracy, the details of true crime cases can be complex and subject to interpretation. This content discusses real events involving crimes and may include descriptions of violence, trauma, or disturbing subject matter. Listener-viewer discretion is advised. The views expressed are those of the creators and do not necessarily reflect the views of individuals involved in the cases discussed. We aim to respect victims, their families, and the legal processes surrounding these cases. Information is based on publicly available data and our research. We are not legal or investigative professionals. For specific legal or factual details, consult official records or expert sources. No defamation or infringement is intended. If you believe content infringes on rights or is inaccurate, please contact us. Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into a case that not only shocked the medical community, but starkly highlighted a pervasive crisis gripping South Africa: the murder of Dr. Nondumiso Nkosi. This is a truly heartbreaking story, a case of alleged femicide, the intentional killing of a woman or girl specifically because of her gender, that raises profound questions about domestic violence, the pursuit of justice, and, the very systems meant to protect us all.
Exactly. And what this case immediately reveals is how deeply interwoven societal pressures, like economic disparity and perceived inferiority, can become with the stark reality of gender-based violence.
Even for someone so successful.
Even for a woman of Dr. Nkosi's standing, yes. It's a chilling insight into the vulnerability many women face. Our mission today is to piece together the sequence of events that led to this tragedy, explore the alleged motives behind such a heinous act, and examine the ongoing tenacious quest for justice that continues to unfold.
Dr. Nondumiso Nkosi was, by all accounts, a woman of immense promise, dedication, and extraordinary resilience. Born on May 17, 1990, near Mbombela in Mpumalanga province, an area sometimes referred to as Nelspruit.
Right, Nelspruit.
She was just 34 years old when her life was tragically cut short in November 2024. Her journey to becoming a medical doctor was incredibly demanding, a path that speaks volumes about her resolve and unwavering commitment to a calling.
That's absolutely right. And to understand the depth of her commitment, we really have to look at her medical studies in Cuba. Nondumiso pursued her medical degree through the highly competitive and rigorous South Africa-Cuba medical training program.
That's a big deal, that program.
It really is. This wasn't just, picking a university. It was a profound commitment that demanded years away from home, immersed in a completely different culture and language, all while undertaking incredibly rigorous medical training.
No.
Imagine the homesickness, the cultural adaptation, the academic pressure. It truly underscores the immense personal sacrifice and unwavering dedication it took to achieve her dream of becoming a doctor. A dream that, for many, remains aspirational. It really highlights her strength of character from a young age.
Definitely. And when she returned home to South Africa, she didn't just ease into it. She hit the ground running, demonstrating that same discipline and drive.
Yeah, straight into it.
She completed her demanding internship at Temba Hospital, located near Mbombela, a crucial period where she applied her academic knowledge in real-world clinical settings, often under immense pressure.
The deep end, really.
Following that, she joined the esteemed Rob Ferreira Hospital, also in Mbombela, quickly becoming an indispensable part of their team. It's clear she wasn't just passionate about medicine, she was profoundly driven to serve.
Her professional trajectory at Rob Ferreira Hospital is particularly, it shows her commitment so clearly. She initially specialized in pediatrics.
Working with kids.
Exactly, dedicating her early career to the delicate and often heart-wrenching care of children. This alone requires a specific blend of compassion and clinical expertise.
Absolutely.
But Nondumiso didn't stop there. She later broadened her expertise, moving into oncology, the treatment of cancer patients, and emergency medicine.
Wow, those are intense fields.
Some of the most emotionally and physically demanding specializations in medicine, definitely. To excel in even one speaks volumes, but to actively pursue and gain respect in all three, it speaks to an insatiable desire to learn, to heal, and to make a tangible difference in the lives of her patients, no matter how challenging the circumstances.
And her reputation quickly soared. Colleagues and patients alike held her in exceptionally high esteem, often describing her with a deep sense of admiration.
You hear that consistently.
She was known for her exceptional compassion, which is absolutely crucial when dealing with patients in vulnerable states, particularly in fields like oncology, where hope and sensitivity are paramount.
So important.
Beyond that, her discipline and unwavering dedication to every single patient she treated truly set her apart. It speaks to a profound sense of duty, the kind that creates a lasting positive impact on countless lives within a community. She was, in every sense of the word, a healer.
The picture that emerges is of a truly remarkable woman, a vital contributor to her community, literally saving and improving lives every day. Yet tragically, behind this shining professional success, her personal life was, sadly, entangled in deep turmoil.
Yeah, that's the devastating part.
She was a devoted mother to 2 young children, and their father was her estranged husband, Fiso Sibanyoni. And it's that stark contrast between public achievement and private struggle that often underpins these kinds of devastating narratives.
Indeed. Their relationship had a long and complex history. They met quite young during her medical school days in Cuba, apparently.
That's right, while she was studying. And they had been in a relationship since at least 2016.
So a long-distance thing for a while.
Presumably, yeah. However, after they married, reports indicate that things took a deeply troubling turn. The marriage began to deteriorate significantly, not just through typical disagreements, but in a way that led to a breakdown of trust and, crucially, safety.
And it wasn't just a simple breakdown of a marriage. The situation escalated to a point where Nondumiso felt she needed to seek legal protection.
A huge step.
She detailed serious allegations of abuse in a protection order she filed against Sibanyoni. In this document, she described being subjected to verbal abuse, including being called a witch.
Which is a very loaded term.
Right, a culturally significant insult in many parts of South Africa that can carry severe social and emotional weight.
Absolutely.
And chillingly, she also reported threats to her life. Such details in legal documents are not made lightly. They indicate a profound fear for one's safety.
No, you don't put that down unless you mean it. But the story takes a complex and, frankly, disturbing turn here. Sibanyoni himself also took out his own protection order against Nondumiso.
Okay, wait. He filed one against her?
He did. This is a critical point that often complicates these cases. While it might superficially suggest mutual conflict, a key insight here is that abusers frequently use this tactic, what's sometimes called counterfiling, to exert further control, shift blame, or discredit the victim's initial claims, making the true dynamics of the abuse even harder to discern.
So it muddies the waters.
Precisely. That's a profoundly unsettling observation, really. It truly underscores how external pressures, like social perception, can fuel such dark dynamics. Her family and colleagues observed a particular tension.
What did they see?
They believed that Sibanyoni felt profoundly intimidated by her and feeling inferior due to her prestigious medical career.
Oh, okay.
This perceived imbalance, where Nondumiso was a highly respected medical doctor saving lives, contrasted with Sibanyoni's own professional background, seems to have fueled a dark dynamic in their relationship.
Think about it. She's a highly educated, respected medical doctor. Sibanyoni, on the other hand, held a nursing certificate from Ikfunden Nursing College.
Right, he had that qualification.
But he reportedly wasn't working as a nurse. Instead, he was a self-employed diesel salesman. While certainly a legitimate profession, the disparity in their professional standing, coupled with his alleged insecurity, seems to have festered.
It's often in these perceived imbalances of success or status that deep-seated resentment can take root, sometimes leading to controlling behaviors or even violence.
Yeah. And just to clarify for everyone listening, while some reports use Sibanyoni or Nkosi Sibanyoni as her married name, she professionally practiced and was widely known as Dr. Nkosi.
Dr. Nkosi, yes. There's no indication of a legal name change we're aware of.
Right.
The alleged feelings of intimidation and inferiority can be potent drivers of resentment and control, particularly when one partner perceives the other's success as a personal affront rather than a source of shared pride.
Instead of being proud, he felt less than.
Potentially. This perceived imbalance often underpins the escalation of domestic tensions, transitioning from verbal abuse and control to severe threats, and in the most tragic cases, to violence. It creates a toxic environment where one partner's achievements become a perceived threat to the other's ego, leading to a dangerous dynamic.
And then we come to the morning of November 20, 2024, that chilling scene we described at the outset. It was a routine morning for Dr. Nkosi, just like countless others.
Her usual pattern.
Around 5:30 a.m., she arrived at the Virgin Active Riverside Gym for her usual early workout. This was a consistent part of her day, a way to prepare herself physically and mentally before starting her demanding workday at the hospital.
It's a stark irony, isn't it? A routine she had established for self-care, a pattern of discipline that defined her professional and personal approach, became the precise context for her undoing.
The place she went to get strong.
Became the site of her final moments. The very place she sought to maintain her well-being, to find strength before facing the day's challenges, became the site of her final, most vulnerable moments. It highlights the insidious nature of targeted violence, where even the most ordinary routines can be exploited.
As she was getting out of her car in the gym's parking lot, the routine, the peace, her entire future was ambushed in an instant. She was shot multiple times.
Multiple times.
This wasn't a random act of violence. It was a targeted, brutal attack executed with cold precision. She collapsed to the ground.
Right there.
And despite the swift arrival of emergency responders who undoubtedly recognized her as a respected colleague from the medical community,
They would have known her.
she was tragically pronounced dead at the scene.
Just devastating. The immediate aftermath was one of utter devastation. Witnesses were left utterly horrified by the violence that unfolded in front of them in the pre-dawn quiet, a scene that would undoubtedly haunt them
I can't even imagine.
and the assailants. They fled the scene in a Toyota Starlet, vanishing into the early morning light, leaving behind a profound sense of shock and an immediate, overwhelming question of why.
The ripple effect of Dr. Nkosi's murder was immediate and profound. News of her death spread rapidly, devastating not just her family and friends, but the entire medical community, both locally in Mpumalanga and across the nation. It was an unfathomable loss. The stark contrast between her life's work, a woman dedicated to saving lives, nurturing health, and offering compassion, and the manner of her death, taken so violently and deliberately, was profoundly shocking.
What's fascinating here, in a grim way, is how quickly this tragic event transcended a personal loss and became a symbol of a much larger societal issue.
It tapped into something bigger, didn't it?
Immediately,
Yeah.
it prompted widespread questions about why and how this could happen to someone like Dr. Nkosi, a respected professional dedicated to healing. The sheer brutality and premeditation alleged in the attack resonated deeply, turning her story into a focal point for the broader discussion around gender-based violence in South Africa.
Right.
The community instinctively understood that this was more than just a crime. It was an attack on the fabric of safety for women.
Indeed. The idea that someone so committed to healing could be subjected to such deliberate harm it doesn't compute for most people. It leaves you feeling deeply disturbed.
Understandably so.
And given the turbulent history we've discussed, it's perhaps unsurprising that suspicion almost immediately fell heavily on her estranged husband, Fiso Sibanyoni.
This is a tragically common pattern in cases of femicide. The immediate circle of friends and family often holds crucial insights. In this instance, Nondumiso's loved ones were quick to voice their beliefs.
They spoke out.
They did, directly pointing to Sibanyoni's past threats and the pattern of abuse she had reportedly endured throughout their relationship. Their testimonies would have provided immediate context and a crucial starting point for the police investigation, directing resources towards a specific avenue of inquiry.
Their personal knowledge was key.
Invaluable, knowing the relationship's dark turns.
Police investigations then uncovered what they described as a disturbing pattern of events. Building a case like this takes time and meticulous effort, particularly when alleged hitmen are involved.
It's not straightforward.
It took about 8 months, but on July 8, 2025, Fiso Sibanyoni, then 39 years old, was arrested in Mwambela.
Finally, an arrest.
He was subsequently charged with murder and conspiracy to commit murder, which were later specified as premeditated murder, meaning it was planned and thought out in advance, and femicide. This distinction is crucial because it speaks to a deliberate, calculated intent rather than an impulsive act.
The 8-month gap between the murder and Sibanyoni's arrest indicates a thorough, albeit complex, investigative process. These kinds of cases often require extensive forensic analysis, witness interviews, digital footprint tracking,
A lot of legwork.
a huge amount. The charges of premeditated murder and femicide are particularly significant as they speak to both intent and the gendered nature of the violence. What's crucial to understanding the strength of the state's case, however, is the emergence of key witness testimony.
Ah, the witness.
Yes, this individual came forward to assist police, shedding light on the alleged plot in chilling detail. It's often these insider accounts that can truly turn an investigation around. The police also made it clear that they couldn't rule out the possibility of more arrests, as they were still actively looking for the two untraced triggermen who carried out the actual shooting. This means the investigation remains very much active.
So the shooters are still out there?
As far as we know, yes. And what that witness revealed was chilling, painting a picture of persistent and calculating intent. Sibanyoni reportedly visited this witness, accompanied by his brother.
Or his brother, okay.
Seeking muti. Now, for those unfamiliar, muti refers to traditional African medicine, which can be used for healing, protection, or spiritual purposes. However, in this context, it often carries darker connotations.
Right.
Implying traditional remedies or rituals sought for malevolent or harmful purposes in this alleged instance for the purpose of killing his wife. Or, failing that, an introduction to someone who could help kill his wife.
So plan A or plan B, basically.
It seems that way. This alleged pursuit of different methods, from seeking muti to actively enlisting hitmen, suggests a deep-seated and persistent objective to end Nondumiso's life.
Not giving up.
It points to a meticulous, albeit horrific, planning process that evolved over time. This raises an important question. What does this pattern of alleged behavior reveal about the depth of planning and intent? The repeated attempts and the alleged pursuit of various methods. It demonstrates an unwavering, persistent objective as meticulously detailed in the witness testimony.
It speaks to a mind allegedly set on a specific devastating outcome, adapting tactics when initial attempts failed.
Exactly. And the witness testimony didn't stop there. Sibanyoni allegedly confessed to this witness that he had previously paid a substantial sum, R70,000.
70,000 rand. That's significant money.
It is. Paid to two other hitmen to kill Nondumiso. However, those first hitmen had taken the money and ran off without causing harm.
Wow. So this wasn't even his first attempt. It was a repeated, escalating effort to orchestrate her murder.
That's the allegation. Following that failure, he then allegedly enlisted the help of two other hitmen, the individuals who ultimately became the triggermen for the murder at the gym.
The ones who actually did it.
The ones who allegedly did it, yes. The alleged prior attempt, involving that significant sum of R70,000, profoundly reinforces the accusation of premeditation. It's not just an intent to commit the act, but a long-standing intention, dating back well before the fatal incident.
Right, this wasn't impulsive.
It demonstrates an alleged, deeply ingrained resolve to commit the crime, rather than a spur-of-the-moment decision. The shift from absconding hitmen to allegedly new triggermen shows an unwavering determination in the alleged plot. It suggests that for Sibanyoni, it was not a matter of if, but when and how he would achieve his alleged objective.
Chilling.
It also highlights the dark underground network that such individuals can apparently tap into, compounding the tragedy.
This pattern of alleged behavior truly starts to paint a disturbing and cold-blooded picture, doesn't it?
It really does.
But the alleged motives only become clearer and more stark when we dig into the financial aspect. Soon after Nondumiso's murder, a startling discovery was made during the investigation.
The money trail.
Exactly. Sibanyoni, whose bank account was reportedly in the minors, a term used for accounts holding very low, almost negligible balances, suddenly received two large life insurance payouts.
Suddenly flush with cash.
Right. This dramatic change in his financial situation immediately raised red flags for investigators.
The timing and magnitude of these payouts are, as you say, highly suspicious and central to the alleged motive. In February 2025, just a few months after Nondumiso's death, Sibanyoni reportedly received R200,000.
Okay.
This was then followed by an even larger sum, R1.5 million, in March 2025.
1.5 million rand.
Yes. The implication, as suggested by the investigation and the charges, is that these were life insurance policies he had taken out on Nondumiso's life, positioning him as the direct beneficiary.
Wow.
This kind of financial incentive is a tragically common thread in cases of spousal murder.
That's an astronomical amount of money, especially for someone whose account was reportedly in the minors. It suggests a clear and very direct financial motive potentially at play here.
Hard to ignore.
Moving from financial precarity to a substantial payout directly linked to her death. This alleged financial game, combined with the deep personal grievances we discussed earlier, begins to form a chilling and cohesive narrative of motive.
Indeed. To recap those deeply personal grievances, we have the documented marital turmoil, the history of protection orders.
Both ways, unsettlingly.
Both ways, yes. And the serious accusations of abuse Nondumiso reportedly made against Sibanyoni, including him allegedly calling her a witch and threatening her life.
Serious threats.
These elements paint a picture of a deeply fractured and potentially volatile relationship, possibly fueled by intense resentment and a desire for control. These aren't isolated incidents, but rather a pattern that, according to the allegations, contributed to the deadly outcome.
And the perceived intimidation by her family and colleagues adds another layer of complexity and potential motive to this.
That feeling inferior aspect.
Right. Their observations that Sibanyoni felt intimidated by her and feeling inferior due to her prestigious medical career compared to his nursing certificate and his work as a diesel salesman suggest a deep-seated insecurity that could have festered into something truly toxic.
It's a plausible psychological driver, certainly.
His professional background, while not without merit, clearly didn't match the demanding, life-saving career Nondumiso had built, creating a stark contrast that some observed he struggled to reconcile. The psychological impact of such a perceived imbalance, especially in a society that often places value on traditional male provider roles, cannot be underestimated.
No, it really can't. The alleged methods of the crime further illustrate the depth of the alleged plot and the chilling determination behind it. We've heard about the first failed attempt, where he allegedly paid $70,000 to hitmen who absconded.
Took the money and ran.
Then, the alleged exploration of moody, or traditional means to achieve his goal, a step that speaks to a desperation or perhaps a belief in alternative spiritual avenues for enacting harm.
Exploring all options, it seems.
And finally, the alleged successful attempt, enlisting 2 other hitmen to carry out the shooting at the gym. This progression from one failed attempt to another method and then ultimately to the tragic execution speaks volumes about the alleged premeditation and a relentless pursuit of a singular, horrifying objective.
It suggests a methodical, calculated mind focused on achieving its goal by any means necessary.
That's the picture being painted.
So what does this all mean when we bring these pieces together? We have a sudden, substantial life insurance payout received by the estranged husband, a documented history of alleged abuse and marital turmoil, and multiple alleged, increasingly desperate attempts to end her life. Sibanyoni's first appearance in court came just days after his July 2025 arrest. He appeared in the Nelspruit Magistrates Court for a bail application.
The first big legal hurdle.
A critical juncture in any legal proceeding, especially one of this magnitude where the community's eyes were fixed on the outcome. The stakes were incredibly high, both for the accused and for those seeking justice for Dr. Nkosi.
Absolutely. During the bail hearing, the defense presented arguments attempting to establish Sibanyoni as a responsible member of society with strong community ties.
Trying to make him look less like a flight risk?
Essentially, yes. Mitigating the risk of him fleeing or interfering with the investigation. They highlighted his educational background, stating he matriculated in 2005 and held a nursing certificate, despite not actively working as a nurse in a clinical setting.
Bringing up the nursing again.
And his profession was presented as a self-employed diesel salesman, with a claim of making about $80,000 on a good month.
$80,000. Okay.
This information was likely presented to argue that he needed to be out on bail to continue his business, suggesting he wasn't a flight risk and had legitimate ties to the community that would compel him to stay.
And he also provided an alibi, a direct denial of his involvement.
Crucial part of the defense.
He stated unequivocally that he was at home sleeping when the murder occurred. Furthermore, his girlfriend, with whom he was in a relationship at the time of the murder.
His current girlfriend.
Yes, his current girlfriend provided a statement to the court claiming he was in bed with her that very morning. That's a significant claim from the defense, offering an alternative account of his whereabouts during the time of the crime.
It is indeed a common defense tactic to present an alibi. And a girlfriend's testimony can be a powerful piece of evidence, albeit one that is often scrutinized for potential bias.
Naturally.
However, the state strongly opposed the bail application, recognizing the gravity of the accusations and the public interest in the case.
They were having it.
No. Their grounds were clear and forcefully articulated, stressing the seriousness of the crime, the strength of the evidence already gathered against him, which would have included the witness testimony regarding the alleged plot, and the financial payouts.
All the things we just talked about.
Exactly. And the argument that he posed a significant danger to witnesses if released. This danger to witnesses is a particularly potent argument, especially in light of the alleged hitmen plot, where the safety of those cooperating with the police would be a paramount concern.
Makes sense. But the courtroom drama wasn't confined to the legal arguments and testimonies within the courthouse walls. Outside, there was a powerful, palpable demonstration of community outrage.
The public reaction was intense.
Nondumiso's family members, friends, and countless colleagues staged vigorous protests, loudly calling for bail to be denied. They marched, held signs, and chanted, their unified voice demanding that justice be served and that Sibanyoni not be released.
A clear message.
It was a clear, unified voice demanding justice, amplified by their profound grief and indignation.
This collective outcry extended far beyond the immediate vicinity of the courthouse. Her memorial service, typically a time for quiet reflection and celebration of life, instead became largely dominated by the searing theme of gender-based violence and a rallying cry against femicide.
The focus shifted.
Completely. Sibanyoni was notably absent from this service, a detail that did not go unnoticed by the community and likely intensified their anger.
Yeah, that wouldn't look good.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the community's passionate response and the overwhelming focus on gender-based violence during both the memorial service and the protests underscore how deeply this case resonated beyond the immediate family.
It became symbolic.
It became a powerful public rallying cry for justice, which the magistrate explicitly acknowledged as a significant factor. It signified a collective refusal to let this tragedy be seen as an isolated incident, but rather a symptom of a larger societal ill.
That public pressure, that collective voice, undoubtedly played a significant role in the magistrate's ultimate decision.
It seems it did.
The magistrate ultimately denied Sibanyoni bail, stating explicitly that his release would endanger the public and disrupt public order due to the intense protests and the palpable anger against him within the community.
A strong statement from the court.
This decision underscored the extraordinary public interest and the societal impact of Dr. Nkosi's murder. The matter was then postponed for further investigation, allowing the prosecution more time to build their case thoroughly before trial.
This decision by the magistrate highlights the rare but significant instances where public sentiment and the potential for public disorder are considered in bail hearings for serious crimes.
It's not usually the main factor, is it?
Legal principles are paramount, but the court acknowledged the profound societal impact of this particular case, demonstrating that justice, in the public eye, extends beyond mere legal procedure to encompass the community's demand for accountability and safety. It's a complex balance, but here, public order was deemed a legitimate concern.
As the legal process continues to unfold and the community eagerly awaits the full trial, there are still significant questions lingering, particularly for those seeking absolute justice for Dr. Nkosi.
2 cents.
One of the most pressing concerns for many is the fate of the untraced triggermen. The police have not yet been able to trace the 2 hitmen allegedly involved in the actual shooting at the gym.
This is a critical point that truly haunts the pursuit of complete justice. The concern is palpable within the community that these individuals might get away with their role in the murder,
Which feels incredibly unjust.
It would leave a profound sense of incomplete justice for Nondumiso and her family. The public is watching closely, anticipating the trial start, and the presentation of further evidence that has not yet been made public during this pre-trial phase.
Nor might come out.
We hope the full picture, including the capture and prosecution of everyone involved, will ultimately emerge in court. Until then, the shadow of these unapprehended accomplices remains.